Unpopular opinion, Jigen may not be as horrible as we think. Is there a bigger threat than the OTSUTSUKI out there? Is it possible that in the future that we saw, Jigen's not even alive? Why am I getting Jiraiya vibes right now? No, I can't do it. Not again. Not again! What is happening, my people? So, if you are new here, I am Jack Oats the Goat. You either know or you don't. It's just that simple. It's that simple. So, I want to just say this. Please make sure to stick around to the end. I'm going to be getting into just what happened, page by page. Maybe not page by page, but, point by point. And then we're going to get into analyzing some things that I mentioned in the intro of this video, and a couple of other things. I think there's some bigger things happening that are being foreshadowed to. So I did not realize at the time that the camera would be tripping out on my shirt. So my bad. I know that might get a little annoying, but just stick with me. I will not be wearing a black shirt again, or at least not this shirt. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, my bad, guys. But before you do anything at all, you need to like this video. You need to subscribe. I need subscriptions, please. Pretty please, with a cherry on top. I'm begging. I'm begging. Just do it. It's right there. It's right there. It takes like 2 seconds out of your day. Just help your boy out. Or if you don't subscribe, share the video. Or do both! Well, that's enough of me begging. So we start off with Kawaki initially trying to save Naruto. He was willing to go with Jigen to make sure that Jigen didn't do anything crazy to our boy. Now, that says a lot about where Kawaki thinks this power scale is, because right now, he's seen Naruto in action. He saw him fight Delta. Now, that wasn't full-on Naruto, and Kawaki might not know that, but the thing is that there's enough of a difference for Kawaki to be afraid for Naruto's well-being. And that actually says a lot about Jigen's strength, and to put even more into this, it's that Kawaki, he actually holds the 7th to a high regard, so much so that he saw Jigen as still a threat. No matter how high he thinks Lord 7th is, he thinks Jigen is still a threat. So it says a lot about Jigen's full potential that we still aren't seeing. But let's keep going. Kawaki offers himself up. It was a pretty predictable move, pretty solid move, but still predictable. And of course, Naruto can't let that happen. But even before Naruto could let it happen, Jigen was willing to let bygones be bygones. Like, hey, I get Kawaki, and no one has to die, no one has to get hurt. And that was that. He was willing to let that happen. But Naruto was like, no way. I'm the 7th, and I have to protect everyone in the village, blah, blah, blah. Of course, all the typical Hokage Naruto BS. We got it. We know. When Naruto says all this, Jigen was like, okay, and reaches out a hand, and all this black swirly stuff comes out of it, and Jigen and Naruto are both gone. It's just Kawaki in the living room. And then it shows Sarada coming up on the scene, and then Boruto's on his way and his karma seal stops acting up. But, I mean, that's all the boring stuff. They didn't really need to show that. Because then we see Naruto and Jigen in a completely different dimension. Now, they have this kind of drawn-out talk. It's not like a super long thing, but, I mean, we know how dull Naruto can be. But, yeah, Kawaki. Jigen essentially explains what I just said, that they're in a different dimension, and Jigen was just going to leave him there, so he opens up a portal for himself, and he's about to step through it, and then all of a sudden, BAM! Right in the kisser, Jigen gets hit, he goes flying, because a foot comes flying out of that portal, and whose foot does that belong to, you're asking? Whose foot could that be? None other than the Uchiha himself, Sasuke, our Lord and Savior. I mean, it was pretty epic. So they reveal that essentially Sasuke was able to track Naruto's chakra even through the dimensions, and then somehow he was able to calibrate the space-time portal to come through Jigen's. They didn't explain that part, which I think if I remember, because I don't have it written down or anything as one of my points, but if I remember, we'll get back into that, because that could play a huge role in the future. If there is one, Sasuke's gonna die. Now here's where things get super spicy, because now everything we've been asking for is happening, and it's the right place, it's the right time. What have we been asking? Well, let's break it down really quick, people. We have Naruto, we have Sasuke. We have Naruto and Sasuke in the same place, at the same time, in a different dimension where they don't have to worry about other people's lives. Let's go wild! I mean, that's exactly what we've been waiting for, and that's exactly what Naruto says. We aren't even in our own dimension. Let's go wild. That's what he says. Let's go wild. So now we're expecting like all these like tail beast bombs, you know, magnet style Rasen Shuriken, and the first move Naruto pulls out is just a regular Rasengan, which was pretty underwhelming. But let's get into it, because there's levels to this stuff, you guys. So they proceed to fight. They're like, boom, bam, boom, boom. Oh, my knee. Oh, my knee. Oh, my knee. Oh, man. Oh, boom, bam, boom, boom. And then you know, there was like a couple whoopee chows there and a hoop plow there. But nothing significantly different happened in the beginning stages of this battle. But as we've seen in other battles with Naruto, at least, he's got to feel out the situation. So he's not busting out all these big, crazy tailed beast bombs right off the bat until he knows what he's fighting up against. Now, when Naruto whips out that Rasengan, what does Jigen do? You can probably assume it if you haven't read the chapter or like even know anything. He absorbs it. Okay, we kind of suspected that he would absorb it. Duh. Everyone's absorbing things now. So then once Jigen absorbs it, he somehow makes black chakra rods just appear out of nowhere and stabs Naruto. Naruto's kind of out in that sequence right there. Then Sasuke steps in. He does a couple exchanges, and he locks in with his sword with Jigen's black chakra rod. And Jigen makes another black chakra rod appear, and it stabs Sasuke like in this really awkward spot, but it looked like it hurt. And then that's when the sequence kind of ended, because then Naruto, he regroups and he makes 4 Shadow Clone, one of which Jigen just punches in the face and it just explodes. And then the other 3 are surrounding and closing in on him, and what happens next is Jigen, he disappears. And Sasuke is like, he's looking at the fight with his Sharingan like he usually does to analyze things. He was playing the quarterback in that sort of situation, and he saw Jigen disappear, and then Jigen reappears, and he's above all 3 of the Shadow Clones, and then there are black chakra rods in all 3 of them, and they poof, they're just gone, right? So Sasuke and Naruto regroup, and they're talking to each other like, okay, what's going on? Sasuke, being the goddamn goat that he is already on to Jigen and his gimmicks. So Sasuke is able to conclude that Jigen's ability is to be able to shrink things, himself and other things, and then make them come back to normal size when he feels like it. And, you know, I said it before they said it in the manga, so they know what's on our mind. Naruto says that it's a very simple but really annoying and deadly trick. You know, especially if Jigen were to use it in the right moment, anyone would be done. That's a pretty good move to have. And like it to be so small, like Ant-Man small, so where you can't even see the guy. That's pretty ridiculous. But anyway, after Sasuke brings up what he thinks is going on with Jigen, he says, but that's not all. There's more secrets. And Naruto's like, really? What kind of secrets are there? And then Jigen just interrupts everything. He's like, you know what? I figured it out. I need to eliminate you, Sasuke, before I even think about eliminating Naruto, because you're too smart, you're too good, you're too cool. Let's get real. Like, this version of Sasuke is like the best, hands down. So he's like, yeah, I gotta kill Sasuke. And then Sasuke tells Naruto, well, I can't tell you now, maybe later. And that's where I'm starting to get some real Jiraiya vibes, but we'll get into that later. So Jigen rushes them, then he disappears. And Naruto asks Sasuke, where is he? Because, of course, Naruto doesn't have the Sharingan or the Rinnegan or that crazy mixture of both. So he's got to ask Sasuke. And Sasuke's like, well, he's right behind you, like behind your right foot or whatever. And Naruto does his trademark thing. Not only was it a Rasengan, but it was just the most unexpected way to do something, right? So we already have the problem. Let's map this out. That Sasuke can read Jigen wherever he goes now that he knows that he turned small. He's just got to zoom in on Jigen and find out where he is. That's fine. We can have Sasuke calling all the shots all battle, but that's pretty inconvenient and it takes a lot away from reaction time. Now, when Naruto uses that Rasengan, it was a giant Rasengan, it was for two purposes. First purpose is to block the chakra rods that were incoming, because we know that is Jigen's pretty much main move there, since you can't see him. And they're pretty OP, black chakra rods, once they're in you, they pretty much suppress you and you're down for the count. So he blocks those, but then he also counts on Jigen absorbing that giant Rasengan, and Jigen's like, oh, what was that for? You know I'm just going to absorb it, right? And then Naruto's like, well, I was actually counting on it. Okay, jerk. Now, why is Naruto counting on Jigen to absorb that giant Rasengan? Wait for it. Wait for it. So that Naruto can track where Jigen is. I mean, it is the most genius thing. This is Hokage Naruto that we all love. The one that's just not this stupid two-dimensional character that does, somewhat two-dimensional fighting. Like, he understands that there's levels to this. And he doesn't want Sasuke being the only one able to track Jigen because they're both fighting, right? It's inconvenient. So now that they can both track Jigen has no other gimmick left, right? So Jigen was caught off guard, and he gets kind of trapped up into this absorbing the Rasengan, and he's doing it while he was shrunken down. And Jigen notes that he can't move as swiftly while in the shrunken state and absorbing things. So Sasuke capitalizes on this, and he tries to go in for the kill, but then Jigen warps away, and he's just farther away, and he ends up avoiding any hit. But then Jigen starts growing that horn that we saw him grow, and he starts absorbing the Ten Tails chakra, and then the chapter ends. So what is about to happen? I just don't even know what's going to happen anymore. I mean, I kind of do. I feel like I might. But I mean, they're doing such a good job writing this stuff in. And I mean, it's only expected from a series that releases once a month. I mean, it has to be good. And, if they do end up making it bi-weekly like I'm hearing, I'm hoping it doesn't take away from the quality. But I don't want to rant too much on that because we got some points to analyze, people. So first point, remember, Jigen was willing to let everyone slide. As long as he got Kawaki, he was like, I'm fine. I just want the kid. Why is that? Why is Jigen okay with just letting bygones be bygones? It's not. It doesn't follow the villain archetype. It just doesn't. So now we're kind of confused. This is the opportunity to kill Naruto, and he's not a problem later. Why doesn't he just do it? Is it that he can't? I don't think so, or else he wouldn't really be indulging in this fight right now. So what's the deal? Well, let's get into the other point. I don't think Jigen is even worried about Naruto and Sasuke. I've said this before in my last chapter reviews, but it's becoming more and more true to me. I don't think Naruto and Sasuke is anywhere on Jigen's priority list at all. I don't think Kara is even worried about the ninja world to begin with. I think there's a bigger fight about to happen, and Jigen is prepping for that fight. Now, I know I think it was like 2 or 3 chapters ago. No, it was longer than that because this was when Delta came back and gave him the news. We saw Code and the other guy, I'm forgetting his name, but Code's partner in Kara, they're the ones that are supposed to take down Naruto and Sasuke. So that's where I'm a little confused, because they're kind of somewhere on that list. But it could just be like they're anticipating Naruto and Sasuke to get in the way of what's going to happen. And who knows what's going to happen because, none of us are the writers and we don't know. But there's something bigger happening that we just don't know. And Naruto and Sasuke, compared to that thing, are like here. They're not anywhere close to what's actually important. What do I think is actually important? I have no idea. But it's something bigger than the OTSUTSUKI, that's for sure. Because Jigen already killed an OTSUTSUKI, that's why he has karma. So OTSUTSUKI can't be the biggest problem here. It's just where my head is at least. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to stick to it. If you're with me, make sure you leave a like. If you're not with me, make sure you leave a like and subscribe anyway. I know if you watched the last video I made on this, I know what you're waiting for. Okay, I was wrong. Sasuke did not die where the 10 Tails was. He did not die. Okay, I was actually very happy that he didn't. Sasuke is my favorite character in the later Naruto and Boruto series. He is the GOAT to me. Do I think he's just not going to die? No, I think this could be Sasuke's last stand. Or it could be someone else's last stand, and we'll get into it. I think we saw enough from the last chapter that something really bad is going to happen with Sasuke. Whether that be death or maybe being taken captive, who knows? Now, Jigen already noted Sasuke's intelligence, saying that he needs to eliminate him first, but think about how vital Sasuke would be to someone like Jigen. With his intel and what Sasuke has seen in his ventures through dimension to dimension, plus the ninja world. So, I think instead of death, Sasuke will be taken captive by Jigen, and I do believe we have not seen the last of ninjas taking other ninjas' eyeballs. I think Jigen will take Sasuke's Rinnegan, if not to use it as his own, to stop Sasuke from being able to escape through a dimension, which will hinder Sasuke greatly. Now, I did mention that this could be someone else's last stand, and if it's not Sasuke's last stand, it could be Jigen's last stand, and I know you might be confused as to why I think that, but stick with me. I don't think Jigen is in the future that we saw. Considering everything, if this is his last stand, and we still have Boruto and Kawaki facing off, what happened? Because it didn't seem like Boruto wasn't himself, or it didn't seem like Kawaki wasn't himself. What was the deal there? So what if Kawaki somehow comes to the conclusion that Jigen did, and that there's a much bigger thing happening, and for whatever reason involves fighting the ninja world? I don't know what that thing is, but something's happening but something above our heads is happening here, and I have yet to even uncover it, or I don't even know if there's enough information to point to what it is, but it's there. It is there. And I might look crazy to you, that's fine, but we've seen in my Black Clover predictions, I am far from crazy, okay? I'm a little crazy. But other than that, those are kind of all the points, but we are in for a huge knockdown, knockout fight. Because the boys can let loose, and no one's going to come interrupt. They're in a different dimension. If someone does interrupt, it's from Jigen's side, not from the ninja world. So, I mean, that's going to be dope, and I can't wait to see Naruto and Sasuke actually let loose, especially if this turns out to be one of the last fights we see at least one of them in. So, I mean, I'm ready for it. Tell me if you guys are in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter. Anything I had to say, whether you agree or disagree. I mean, we're all here to speculate. You know, don't mistake me for saying that this is all 100% true. You have to believe it. I'm just here to have a discussion with you guys. I'm here to have some fun. Like I said, let me know in the comment section below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on all the stuff, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like the page. Make sure you share it with your friends so the page can grow. And yeah, thanks, guys. I forgot to write an outro again. So, hold on. Why can't Sasuke use the Byakugan? Because he not a Hyuga.